welcome again to another episode of The Consistency Queen, the podcast that is created for women over 40 to be able to build businesses online with a proven system. Hi, my name is Elsa Morgan. I'm a wife, I'm a mum, and I have a global multiple six-figure coaching business that's scaling to 7 figures. And I'm on a mission to serve and impact over 1 million women to be able to create the life of their dreams through their business, through their impact, and through their message. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I have definitely embodied and experienced. And this is what's helped me to become the version that I am today. You see, a lot of people who come into my world wonder, how is it that I've been able to transform over time? And the reality is it's more than just me setting a goal, and it's more than me just understanding exactly what I need to do. It's about adopting identity-based habits. Now, identity-based habits is something that is not new, but it's becoming more and more of a theme as people start to understand that setting goals and setting targets is only one part of the equation. And it's really about the person that you become as you go and build your business, create an impact, and share your message. It's about the person that you become that helps you become, that helps you to achieve your goals versus just setting a goal and just getting to work. Now, a little bit of a backstory. There was a period of time, probably around about 2018 to 2020, or late 2019, where I would be setting goals and understanding exactly what I needed to do every day. And what would happen is that I would hit a lid. There'd be a point in time where I'd be achieving all these results and having momentum. And then at some point in time, I just would hit a lid. I would not be able to get further than where I've had the same time over and over again. And I really didn't understand why that was happening. Now, there's a whole host of things that was happening there. One of them is I was self-sabotaging, my programming came in, my limiting beliefs, etc., etc. So all of those things came into play. But what I didn't do from the very get-go was understanding who I needed to become to achieve my desired results. What I was doing was just setting the goal, identifying the activities to set the goal in terms of reverse engineering my numbers, knowing what I had to do in my business every single day, and literally just getting to work with no real focus or concentration on my behaviors, my thoughts, my beliefs, my habits, both good and bad, or any of those things that I needed to take into consideration to be able to achieve my desired result. Now, it wasn't until 2020 that I started to understand that, and it all made sense why up until that point, I wasn't achieving the results. And once I discovered that I actually needed to work towards not just the set goal or the result goal, but who I wanted to become as well as I was building my business, then my results started to shift. And really in the last 3 years, I've been able to master my emotions so much more than compared to before 2020. I mean, I'm definitely not at mastery level, but compared to where I was once upon a time, I'm a very, very different person in managing my emotions. Coupled with that is harnessing my thoughts and really being laser focused on the things that I want to invite into my life and speak into reality the things that I definitely want to appear into my life. Because prior to that, I was just talking about the things I didn't have or didn't achieve or who I wasn't. And so what kept happening was that kept appearing in my life. But you see, the version that I was wanting to become just wouldn't speak that way, wouldn't think that way, wouldn't feel that way. And I didn't know until a certain point that that's what I needed to work on the most, who I needed to become. And more importantly, how would this next level version of me make decisions? How would this next level version of me conduct themselves on a day-to-day basis? What would the morning routine be like? How would I approach my day? How disciplined would I be? How would I react or respond or behave in a certain way when situations happened? Because when you're building a business, obstacles and challenges, adversity, all of that happen. And that's very much the norm. You see, when you're in the creative space, the creator space, where you are actively building your own business, it's so different than you being an employee in a company. Because when you're an employee and you are employed by a company, everything is determined by somebody else. It's set for you. You have very little say in your net worth or your worth in that company, or what you are meant to be doing, unless you're at manager level. And even then you're limited. How much your pay increase is, how you can manage your day, everything is dictated for you. And so it's very much a systematic approach that has very little room to move. When you come into the creative space and you're building your own business, it's very different. You need to conduct yourself as a business owner. And one of the things that I find that a lot of women struggle with is they haven't accepted that they are the owner of a potential $1 million business, that what they have available to them in their opportunity, in their business, whatever it is, whether it's network marketing, direct sales, it's an Etsy store or Amazon, or you're a coach or a VA, whatever your business is, the possibilities are endless for you. And so it's very challenging, especially when people come out of the corporate world or an employee environment, to then figure out what exactly do I need to be doing, and how does a CEO of a potential $1 million business operate? And until 2020, I had no real idea what that meant. But once I started to understand, I looked at mentors and people that were, doing big things, seeing how they showed up, seeing the way they spoke, seeing their energy. What were the things that they paid attention to? What were the themes that they constantly, spoke about over and over again? And by me identifying their behaviors, their thought patterns, and just their language, I started to understand some shifts that I needed to make. You see, I wasn't comparing myself to them. I was comparing myself to my 7-figure version. I was comparing myself to the person that I wanted to become. And then I started to see a gap. And when I started to see the gap, I started to look at my behaviors, my habits, my thought patterns, one by one, and tackling them and starting to show up differently, and working on managing my emotions and mastery of energy, and just being a lot more focused on who I wanted to become versus what I hadn't achieved. And so when you look at identity-based habits, what you're doing is you're understanding the version that you need to become to achieve those goals. And then you can list all the habits that this version that you have in mind that you are becoming will embody on a day-to-day basis. And they could be things like the way that they do their morning routine, their exercise, the way they manage their mindset, how you manage your energy, your focus, how you fuel your body, like what do you eat every day to make sure that you are showing up at peak energy levels. Would you be drinking water every day? How do you manage your time? How do you manage your focus? And all of these things play a massive part in your ultimate version, the ultimate version of you. And other things include the company that you keep, your circle of 5, your inner circle. All of these matter. And so once you list that down, you list all the habits of the ultimate version of you. Then it's about choosing one at a time and starting to implement activities from the very, very, very get-go. And so in the initial stages, it'll be an activity. And your key focus when you're trying to embed it as a habit is you just show up. And the amount could be small. Like if it's a time-based habit, maybe start off with 5 minutes or 10 minutes. If it's a quantity habit, maybe start off with 1 or 2. It's not so much that you do massive amount of action straight away, because your body is just literally going to fight you on that. Your body and your mind would just literally just pull you back into comfort zone. So the key to developing anything new into a habit is to show up in small amounts, but you need to show up every single day for it to really get embedded into your body and into your mindset. And the reason why I say that is because, you see, your brain is designed to conserve energy. One of its main focuses and roles is to conserve energy. And from the very outset, from the very get-go, when you try anything new, it'll fight you. It'll definitely fight you in wanting to continue, because it senses your apprehension or your nervousness or, even your excitement. It just doesn't understand the difference between fear and excitement. And so what it'll do is it'll just tap into programming that you've already given to it in the past. It'll just tap into past information that it can just pull out and refer to and just say, hey, listen, last time you did this, this is what happened. So you'll kick into your limiting beliefs and any thoughts that really aren't anything to do with what you're doing right now, but all it knows is how you're feeling. But if you continue persisting and you show up, even in small amounts, but the idea is that you start to embody the behaviors of the ultimate person that you want to achieve or become. So you start off in small amounts. For example, if you want to be someone that wants to write a book, then potentially what you could be doing is write 100 words every single day, because your goal is not to publish a book, it's to be a writer, to be an author. Okay, so what would an author do? An author would write every single day. So you don't necessarily have to do massive amounts every day, just break it up into small chunks and start developing that consistency every single day. And eventually over time, now typically it takes anywhere between 66 to 365 days as per the School of London, you'll start embodying it. You'll start embodying that, and you're doing instinctively and unconsciously, and that's how you know that you've developed a habit. Once you start embodying habits of your next level version, your outer world will start changing, because what I've experienced and what I know to be true is that your outer results, your outer world results, will not change until your inner world changes. And that includes your habits. And so again, if we look at another example, if you're someone that wants to quit smoking, if you're a smoker at the moment and you want to quit smoking, right? You are just, the person that you want to embody is a non-smoker. So what would a non-smoker do? Is they would literally not smoke. But in order for you to break this habit, sometimes it's a lot easier for some people to just go cold turkey. But what if it was a lot harder for you? Maybe potentially you could reduce your amount and then, remove it altogether. And so you need to understand that you need to embody, you need to become that person. So if you want to, for example, lose weight, so how would you lose weight? You would move your body. And if you're restricted like me at the moment to be walking, because I had major surgery at the start of the year, so I wouldn't be able to walk for an hour on end. That would simply just not be physically possible right now. But if I just started walking right now, maybe I would just walk 5 minutes, and I would continue to do that until I felt okay to maybe go another minute, and then increase it by another minute, and then another minute, and then another minute, and having small incremental gains over time, right? Which is why as a author or as a writer, you would start off small and increase your words over time, which as a non-smoker, you would reduce the amount and then remove over time. And that ensures that you're programming your mind and your body, as well as just flexing that muscle and building that muscle with that activity, so it becomes a part of you. And so the very first thing that you want to do if you want to change your life is you need to identify the habits that you need to have as your ultimate version, or the person that you aspire to become. What are the habits that they embody? And then one by one, you identify activities and just get to work. But I would only do one at a time, and I would definitely start off small. The act of showing up and doing the thing is way more important than massive amounts. And the key thing for it to become a habit is that you need to show up consistently. And that is the way that you will start literally embedding that into you. And your brain, remembering that I said that it's designed to conserve energy, will get sick and tired of trying to fight you, and it will just accept it. At one point in time, it will just accept it as this is the new way of doing things. And so this is exactly what I did to be able to not only have the identity, accept the identity that I was a business coach and a business coach of $1 million business. I then looked at, what does that look like for me in terms of my version? And I went ahead and started working on the things that I need to start, becoming that version. And part of that meant that I had to invest in myself, because there were certain things that I didn't know that I could change or how I could change them. And by investing in coaches that had that blueprint, I've been able to not only use those practices and use that blueprint and implement and fast track myself, but I've accelerated because I've had to, the guesswork is taken out. And so I encourage you, if you're finding yourself constantly in a loop, not getting very far in terms of your results, the results that you want to achieve, ask yourself, am I showing up as that person that would achieve the results? Because I challenge you, if you say yes, if your current version was the version that was going to achieve the results, you would already be there. So there's something about the way that you're showing up, your behaviors, your thoughts, the way you speak, the way you react, the way you manage your emotions. There's just something, or maybe a few more things, but I had a whole lot of things, by the way, that you need to look at. And it's time for you to start implementing those activities to become habits, to pull out that potential out of you, because you deserve to be the superstar that you already are. And the fact that you want more out of life means that there's a version of you waiting on the other side of all these challenges and obstacles and everything else that you face, waiting for you to arrive. And so for me, this has been my journey, and this is what I teach to my coaching clients, that more than just knowing about strategy and more than just knowing about the fancy audio or some way to get new followers or, text or anything like that, who are you showing up as? And are you showing up and mirroring the behaviors, the thoughts, the actions of someone, your version, the ultimate version of the person that would achieve the results? And, my philosophy on this is that if you weren't meant to achieve the result, you wouldn't have the desire. That's your potential right there. So I hope this has served you. I'm so excited because I'm going to be speaking more and more about habits and consistency and the way that we can start implementing. So then that way you can pull out the potential out of you. And if you like this kind of content, I encourage you to follow me on my YouTube, Elsa Morgan, the Consistency Queen. I have so much content there to help you to not only look at strategy, which is a very big part of building a business, but more importantly, how to master your emotions, how to master your mindset, strategies to be able to implement and change certain areas in your life. And I only teach what I've experienced myself as I go and build a multiple 7-figure coaching business, because my own coaching business has achieved over $1 million in sales in less than 2 years. And I'm on a mission to serve over 1 million women. And not only that, not only make millions, but give away millions. Giving away millions is my focus and my vision, and I'm driven by that, and I will become that version to do that. So if you want to follow me on my journey, and I encourage you to do that, because you know what, we're all in this together and you're here for a reason. Follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also leave me a 5-star review on my Apple podcast as well, or Spotify. And I look forward to sharing more and more content like this. It's going to serve you, it's going to help you, and it's definitely going to elevate you. Take care.
The Consistency Queen, brought to you by the Queenie Effect and the Tech Company. For coaching options, please visit elsamorgan.com.